Students, in this video lecture, we will be discussing few problems related with Newton's laws of motion. So from past few video lectures, we are discussing the same. So let us see some more applications in today's video lecture also. See here on the screen, there is a question displayed. There is a wedge whose angle of inclination is 53 degrees. By what acceleration the boy must go up so that 100 kg block remains stationary on the wedge. So mass of this block is 100 kg. It is given 100 kg mass of the block, and in order to maintain this block stationary, with what acceleration 50 kg person should accelerate upward. Okay, so that is what you are asked in the question. By what acceleration the boy must go up so that 100 kg block remains stationary on the wedge. Now let us consider this person is moving up with an acceleration a. So as this person is moving up with some acceleration a, he is exerting some force on the string in downward direction. So there is a downward force, that is tension exerted on the string because the person is moving. By holding this string, he is moving upward. So in order to go up, according to Newton's third law, he should pull the string in downward direction in order to rise himself upward. As a result, there is some net tension exerted on the string. That tension will be pulling this mass right side, and this is tension T. And this tension should balance the force which is acting in downward direction. So as actually if there is no rope here, this mass would fall down. It would fall down because it is wedge. Angle of inclination is 53 degrees. This mass would go down if there is no tension because it is smooth surface. As there is upward tension, in order to maintain this body stationary, upward force and downward force should be equal. As a result, net acceleration of this mass will become 0, right? So now in order to maintain 100 kg mass stationary, 100 kg mass stationary, F up minus F down should be equal to 0. That means net force acting on 100 kg should be equal to 0, right? This is equation number 1. If this condition is satisfied, then the body will be remained in the rest position. Now, in order to satisfy this condition, like first let me plot what are the forces acting on this mass M. So the forces which are acting on this mass M is tension in the string in upward direction, gravitational force acting in downward direction. You can resolve gravitational force into components. One component along vertical and other component along the horizontal. And this angle is theta. I can write this as mg into cos theta. This is mg into sin theta. And overall net acceleration is equal to 0, right? Now taking free body diagram at equation 1, you can write upward force as tension minus downward force as mg sin theta should be equal to 0. And this can be written as T equal to mg into sin theta. That is, m is mass 100 kg, acceleration due to gravity, I am taking it as 10 into sin 53. So sin 53 will be 4 by 5. This is 1000 into 4 by 5. And this is 5 200. This is 4 2s 800 Newton. So tension in the string is equal to 800 Newton. This is number 2. Now we have got, in order to maintain this block stationary, tension in the string should be equal to 800 Newton. And that 800 Newton is exerted on the string because this person is moving up with some acceleration, right? So this free body diagram for person. So if I plot free body diagram for this person is exerting force, like he has gravitational force acting in downward direction, that is mg, and he is moving up with an acceleration a, and as a result he is pulling the string in downward direction. Therefore I can write F net on the person is equal to mass of the person into acceleration of the person. F net on the person will be equal to upward force, I can take it as tension, minus downward force is gravitational force, mass of the person into acceleration due to gravity, which is equal to mass of the person into acceleration of the person. Tension is already calculated. In order to maintain block 100 kg in the rest, tension should be 800 Newton. That is already calculated. Minus mass of the person is 50 kg. Acceleration due to gravity, I am taking it as 10. Mass of the person is 50 kg into acceleration of the person. 800 minus 500 gives you 300, which is equal to 50 into acceleration of the person. Acceleration of the person is equal to 300 divided by 50. 0 gets cancelled. 5 6 30. Acceleration of the person should be 6 meter per second square. So in order to maintain 100 kg mass in the rest, the person should be pulling the string in such a way he should get an acceleration of 6 meter per second square. Look here students, we have a wedge whose angles are mentioned: 60 degrees, 30 degrees and 90 degrees. A and B are the two masses attached with the string, and there is another mass which is attached at the other end, that is C. So we have three masses, A, B and C. Those three masses are attached with a string on the inclined plane along with this pulley. Now in the figure the data is given. In the adjacent figure, masses of A, B, C are 1 kg, 3 kg, 2 kg respectively. Find, first question you should find out acceleration of the system. You should find out acceleration of the system. Next, you should find out tension in the string. You should find out tension in the string, and also given acceleration due to gravity, you should take it as 10 meter per second square. So whatever question you may get, just blindly draw free body diagrams first for all the masses which are included. Here there are three masses, so therefore definitely you will be getting three free body diagrams. And masses are being given as 1 kg, 3 kg and 2 kg. A is 1 kg, B is 3 kg and C is 2 kg. Okay. Now, when these masses are attached, 1 kg and 3 kg combined to give 4 kg. C is mass 2 kg. And clearly it should be noted that 3 kg plus 1 kg is 4 kg. Left side it is 4 kg, right side it is 2 kg. So we are assuming, not fixing, we are assuming that A and B, as both masses they are greater, we consider that A and B are pulled in downward direction because of acceleration due to gravity. As a result, I consider A and B are moving with an acceleration A in downward direction. If A and B are moving in downward direction, C should go up with same acceleration because all the masses are attached with the strings. So if AB come down, C goes up. If we are considering that C is coming down, A and B should go up, vice versa. And you cannot exactly decide initially. Final answer will be telling you whether A is positive or negative. If the answer which you are calculating, if A is negative, it means that A and B is not coming down, A and B is going up. If the final answer which you are getting A as positive, it means that your directions are correct. And which mass move downward is decided by this angle, 60 degrees and 30 degrees. Based on this angle, you will be getting some downward force here. For C, there is a downward force. For A, there is a downward force. These downward forces can be simply written as MC into G into sine 30. And this side it is MA into G into sine 60. Okay. Therefore, whatever the force left side it is there, it is depending upon angle 60 degrees. And for mass C, it is depending upon angle 30 degrees. Therefore, choosing the angles, it is not only masses deciding here acceleration, it is angles also deciding the acceleration. Based on the angle, C can come down or C can go up. So initially we do not know that. So we assume that A and B are greater masses. So we assume that A is acceleration for both these masses, A, B, they are coming down. C goes up. We are assuming. We will finally find out that. So take free body diagram for individual masses A, B, and C. Upon A, you have one force which is acting in downward direction, mg sine 60, and there is another force which is acting in upward direction, that is tension. Okay, and upon B, there is gravitational force component which is acting in downward direction. Along with that, there is tension in the string in downward direction. Along with that, there is upward force tension T. Right. Next, on C, there is downward force mg sine theta, which is a component of gravitational force, and upward there is tension T. Okay. Now let us mark the tensions. B and C are attached with the same string. Therefore, you will get tension T. Here also it will be tension T. B and E are attached with the same string. Therefore, you will be considering this as tension T1. So taking free body diagram for mass A, you will be writing it as, take this mass A. Upward force, take it as positive. Downward force, take it as negative. Upward force, there is tension T1. T1 minus downward force is mg sine 60. And this should be equal to, overall, the system is accelerating, we are considering, and we are telling that acceleration is A. So therefore it is m A, mass of object A, into acceleration A. So T1 minus, m is A is 1 kg. 1 into 10 into sine 60 is root 3 by 2 is equal to 1 into A. Let me take this as equation number 1. This is for mass A. Now take mass B. Taking mass B, we have 3 forces acting in downward direction and 1 force in upward direction. That upward force is tension T. So I can write it as T minus, one small mistake I have made. Acceleration is in downward direction. So you should take it as negative here. This is minus A. One small mistake, correct it. And T minus downward force, there is tension T1. Tension T1 for mass B. This is mass B. Downward it is tension T1, and downward there is one more component which is mass of B into G into sine 60. So T minus T1 minus mass of B into G sine 60, sine 60 minus tension T, no, is equal to mass of B into acceleration A. Check it up. T is upward force minus downward force, there is tension T1 and mg sine 60 is equal to mass of this object B into acceleration A. So this is giving you T minus T1 minus, and acceleration also should be negative here because B is also coming down. Mass of B is 3 kg. Acceleration due to gravity is 10. Sin 60 is equal to root 3 by 2. This is equal to minus 3 times acceleration A. That's equation number 2. Second mass free body diagram we have calculated. Now let us take mass C. For mass C, for C there is one downward force and one upward force. Upward force we are taking it as positive. It is T minus downward force is mass of C into acceleration due to gravity into sin 30 is equal to mass of C into acceleration A. C we are assuming that it is going up. So A is positive. T minus mass of C is 2 kg into 10 sin 30 is 1 by 2 is equal to mass of C, that is 2 kg into acceleration A. Okay. So from this 2 and 2 gets cancelled. T can be written as 10 plus 2A. Take this as equation number 3. So we have got 3 equations, 1, 2 and 3, and we have got 3 unknowns. What are those 3 unknowns? A is one unknown, tension T is one unknown, and tension T1 is one unknown. 3 equations and we have 3 unknowns. If you solve these 3 equations, you will be getting acceleration in the string tension T and as well as T1. So in order to get acceleration A, take this equation 3 and substitute in equation 2. Take this equation 1 and substitute in equation 2. Right? Substitute 3, 1 in equation 2. Take this 3 and 2. Instead of T, you should write it as 10 plus 2A minus of T1. We already have got T1 is equal to, this is 2 5 is 10. That comes to the right side. 5 root 3 minus A. So T1 is equal to 5 root 3 minus A. You can substitute here. 5 root 3 minus of minus will become plus A. And what is left over? Minus this 2 and 5 gets cancelled. It is 3 5 is 15. Minus 15 root 3 is equal to minus 3 times A. So in these all terms, there is only 3A. A is unknown quantity. 2A and A, that is 3A. And the other side it is minus 3A. Coming to this side, it become plus 3A, which is equal to 15 root 3 goes to the other side. 5 root 3 also goes to the other side. 10 also goes to the other side. Minus 10. 15 plus 5. It will be 20 root 3 minus 10 is equal to 6A. Now root 3 can be written as 1.7. So this gives you 2 into 17 minus 10 is equal to 6A. So this gives you 6A is equal to 2 sevens 14, 2 ones 2 plus 1 34 minus 10, which is equal to 24. A will be equal to 24 divided by 6. 6 4s 24. Common acceleration we have got it as 4 meter per second square, and it is positive. It means that acceleration value which you are getting is 4 meter per second square. That is correct. We have got acceleration from here, right? Right. Using value of A in equation 1 and 3, we get T1 and T. So taking this value of accelerations, you just substitute A value in those 2 equations so that you will be getting tension T1 and tension T. Okay. So find out that A 4 meter per second square. Take this and substitute in equation 1. So if you substitute A as a 4, you will be getting T1. And take this A and substitute in equation 3 so that you will be getting tension over there. Okay. Substituting T1 and substituting acceleration in these two equations, you will be getting T1 and T as T1 is equal to 4.6 Newton and the tension T is equal to 18 Newton. So in order to make frame of reference clear, what I do, I'll be considering a vehicle, and this vehicle is moving on the road. This vehicle is moving on the road. And there is a block resting on this vehicle. And it is moving with constant velocity. If velocity is equal to constant, acceleration is equal to 0. If this may be in the rest position, velocity is equal to 0. This is first condition. Second condition, velocity may be constant. Third condition, velocity may not be equal to constant. If there is any vehicle, if that vehicle is on the road, it can have three possible cases. It can be in the rest position, it can move with uniform velocity, it can move with variable velocity. If it is moving with variable velocity, it means that it is accelerating. If it is moving with constant velocity, it means that it is uniform. It has uniform motion. Now, within this bus, there may be a block. Here is block of mass M1. Not only one block, there may be any number of blocks. There may be another block here. There may be a pendulum here. Like in this bus, there may be as many number of masses. Based on the conditions which I have told, if the bus is in the rest position, which is satisfying V is equal to 0, all the blocks which are present inside that bus will remain stationary. They remain as it is. Coming to the next condition, if the bus is moving with constant velocity, then mass M1 and mass M2 and this pendulum M3, all the three possess same velocity which bus has. Now coming to the condition 3, third condition. What did I tell? In the third condition, this bus is moving with some velocity which is not equal to constant. V is not equal to constant means bus is accelerating. If bus is accelerating right side, if you are placing a mass M, if bus is moving with some acceleration, after some time, you may observe that this block tending to move backward. You might have, you might experience this in your daily life. Suppose you are sitting in a bus, you are placing your bag beside you. You are sitting in the seat and you are placing a bag beside you, which is on the ground, on the platform. When bus is moving, like you have traveled a distance of 20 kilometer or 30 kilometer, if you check your bag, definitely it will not be there, where you have placed it. It will be sliding in backward direction. You might have experienced this in your daily life. Likewise, if this bus is accelerating right side, this bag which you are placing on the ground, it will be sliding in backward direction. Right? Who is pushing this bag in backward direction? There must be some force, right? And that force is called pseudo force. Push bag in backward direction. And this happens only if vehicle is moving with acceleration A. In the first case, that does not happen. In the second case also, that does not happen. In the third case, if the bus is moving with an acceleration, then only it happens. Therefore, whenever you are dealing with the systems, there comes these two situations where case one is that objects may move, object may be in rest position or uniform motion. This is first condition. Second condition is that objects can be accelerated. Okay. Now bus, if you are considering, this is bus and this bus is said to be as a reference frame. Inside this bus we have two masses. These two masses M1 and M2 are in the reference frame. They are resting in the reference frame. Bus is now reference frame. Reference frame can be in the rest position or uniform motion. Reference frame can be accelerated. So based on these conditions, you can decide two types of inertial, two types of frames of reference. They are number one, inertial or unaccelerated frames of reference, which is satisfying condition 1. And B, it is non-inertial or accelerated frames of references. Accelerated frames of references are called non-inertial frame of references, and frames of references which are in rest or uniform motion, they are called inertial frame of references. So two types of reference frames we have, inertial and non-inertial. Inertial frames are those which are in the rest or uniform motion. If they are in the rest or uniform motion, pseudo forces will be zero. There will be no pseudo forces acting on those objects which are in the inertial frame. Coming to objects in the accelerated frames, which are non-inertial frames, there is a pseudo force acting in backward direction. As a result, objects which are in the non-inertial frames will be experiencing a force in opposite direction to that of acceleration of the bus. Bus is accelerating right side. Mass is accelerating left side because pseudo force always act opposite to that of acceleration of the reference frame. And that pseudo force can be written as mass of the object multiplied with acceleration of the frame of the reference. It is mass of the object multiplied with acceleration of the frame of the reference. So that's the difference between inertial and non-inertial frame of references. And in the next video lecture, we will learn in detail about inertial and non-inertial frames and differences between inertial and non-inertial frames of references.